You know the words. You understand the grammar. But when it's time to speak English, you suddenly become silent. Why does this happen? You start thinking too much. Is this sentence correct? Am I using the right word? Does my accent sound strange? What if I make a mistake? And while you're thinking about all these things, the conversation moves on. If this sounds familiar, today's lesson is for you. Welcome back to US Daily English. Today is day 3 of our English listening journey. We're going to talk about how to stop overthinking, speak with more confidence, and become comfortable making mistakes. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. Part 1. Why do we overthink when speaking? Why do we think so much before speaking English? One reason is that we want to be perfect. We want to choose the perfect word. We want to use the perfect grammar. We want our pronunciation to sound perfect. But here's the problem. When you try to make every sentence perfect, speaking becomes difficult. Imagine you're having a conversation with someone. They ask you, "What did you do this weekend?" You know the answer. You went to a restaurant. You watched a movie. You visited a friend. You have the idea in your head. But instead of answering, you start checking your grammar. Should I use the past simple? Do I need this preposition? Is this the right word? By the time you finish thinking, you have missed your chance to speak. This is called overthinking. And overthinking can make even simple English feel difficult. Remember, speaking is a skill. You don't improve a skill by thinking about it. You improve it by doing it. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. You don't need to think about every word forever. Your goal is to practice until many sentences come naturally. Part 2. The story of Daniel and the broken mug. Let me tell you a short story about a man named Daniel. Daniel moved to a new city because of his job. He was excited about his new opportunity, but there was one problem. His English wasn't very strong. He could understand a lot when people spoke slowly. He could read emails and understand basic conversations. But speaking was difficult for him. During team meetings, Daniel often had good ideas. He wanted to share them, but he stayed quiet. He was afraid of saying something wrong. He was especially worried about his accent. One afternoon, Daniel went into the office kitchen to get a cup of coffee. As he picked up a coffee mug, it slipped from his hand. Crash! The mug fell onto the floor and broke into several pieces. Daniel froze. He felt embarrassed. A few seconds later, an older coworker walked into the kitchen. He looked at the broken mug and smiled. Then he said, "Daniel, the only person who never breaks a mug is the person who never uses one." Daniel smiled. The coworker continued, "The same thing is true with English. The only person who never makes a mistake is the person who never speaks." Daniel thought about those words. They changed the way he looked at his English. He realized that he had been trying so hard to avoid mistakes that he had stopped practicing. The next day, Daniel decided to do something different. During a meeting, he shared one simple idea. His sentence wasn't perfect. His accent wasn't perfect. But everyone understood him. The next meeting, he spoke again. Then again. Sometimes he forgot a word. When that happened, he used a simpler word. Sometimes he made a grammar mistake. When someone corrected him, he simply said, "Thank you." He didn't stop speaking. He kept going. After several months, something changed. Daniel became much more comfortable speaking English. He started sharing his ideas in meetings. He talked more with his coworkers. And most importantly, he stopped being afraid of every little mistake. His English wasn't perfect, but he was communicating, and that gave him confidence. Daniel learned an important lesson. You don't become confident before you start speaking. You become confident because you keep speaking. Part 3. 3 ways to stop overthinking. So, how can you stop overthinking and start speaking? Here are 3 simple ideas. First, use the good enough rule. Your sentence doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to communicate your idea. If you know a simple word, use it. If you don't know a difficult word, explain it in a different way. For example, maybe you don't remember the word delicious. You can simply say, "The food was really good." That's perfectly fine. Simple English is still English. Don't wait for the perfect sentence. Speak with the words you know right now. Second, focus on the message, not the mistake. When you're speaking, your main goal is communication. Ask yourself, can the other person understand what I'm trying to say? If the answer is yes, you're doing well. You can improve your grammar later. You can learn better vocabulary later. But first, get your message across. Remember, communication comes before perfection. Third, practice in low-pressure situations. You don't have to start by speaking in front of 10 people. Start small. Talk to yourself in English. Record your voice on your phone. Read a short paragraph out loud. Describe what you're doing while you cook. Talk about your plans for tomorrow. You can even practice simple conversations by yourself. The more you practice in comfortable situations, the easier real conversations will become. Confidence grows through practice. Part 4. Your speaking challenge for today. Now, let's practice together. I want you to take 2 minutes today and speak English out loud. Don't write anything first. Don't prepare a perfect speech. Just speak. You can talk about your day. For example, today I woke up early. I had breakfast. I went to work. I was a little tired, but I had a good day. Keep going. If you forget a word, don't stop. Use another word. If you make a grammar mistake, don't worry. Keep speaking. If you don't know what to say, describe what you can see around you. For example, there is a table in front of me. I can see a window. My phone is on the table. These sentences may seem simple, but you're training your brain to think and speak in English. And that's what matters. Part 5. A new way to think about mistakes. From now on, I want you to change the way you think about mistakes. Don't say, "My English is bad because I made a mistake." Say, "I found something I can improve." Don't say, "I'm embarrassed because I don't know this word." Say, "Now I have a new word to learn." Don't say, "I can't speak English." Say, "I'm still learning and I'm getting better." Your words can change your mindset, and your mindset can change the way you learn. Part 6. Conclusion. Let's review today's lesson. You don't need perfect English to communicate. You don't need perfect grammar to have a conversation. And you don't need to know every English word before you start speaking. Stop overthinking. Start speaking. Use simple words. Focus on your message. Practice in low-pressure situations. And don't be afraid of mistakes. Remember Daniel and the broken mug. The only person who never makes a mistake is the person who never tries. So give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to sound imperfect. Give yourself permission to learn. Because confidence doesn't come from waiting until you're ready. Confidence comes from taking action. Thank you so much for practicing with me on day 3 of our English listening journey. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please like this video and subscribe to US Daily English for more B1 English listening and speaking practice. And here's your challenge. Write this sentence in the comments. I will speak English even when I make mistakes. Say it. Write it. And most importantly, practice it. Keep learning. Keep speaking. Keep improving. And remember, you don't have to speak perfect English. You just have to keep speaking. I'll see you in day 4. Have a wonderful day.